Hi, everyone, and thanks for having me. And it's great to be here attending this year's Healthcare Innovation Summit Africa. I'm honoured to have been invited to speak with you all today, and I'm also excited to hear from so many accomplished speakers and to hopefully share with you a little of my experience in accelerating digital transformation in healthcare. So, first of all, I just thought I'd do a quick introduction. Who am I? Look, my name's James Sully. I grew up in Australia originally, but have worked in Australia, Silicon Valley, and London. Originally, I had plans to join the exciting world of accounting, but luckily, most of my university friends were studying medicine, and this gave me my first insight into both the mindset and issues facing digital health. So while studying at university, I started my first company, Clinic Connect, a world-first integrated medical appointment marketplace, allowing Australians better access to their primary care. After growing that company through to a public listing, I moved to Silicon Valley to a company called Vim, where I helped another population health startup grow and to take on the challenge of the rising healthcare costs in the United States. I then went on to study at Oxford and joined a world-first commercial blockchain software as a service company called Veritrack. This was looking to help secure the pharmaceutical supply chain, mostly in Europe. Now, I'm Chief of Staff and Director of Strategy at London Medical Laboratory. London Medical Laboratory is a UK-first omni-channel blood laboratory whose goal is to abolish the current barriers people in the UK face to access to phlebotomy and general health checks. And it's a company that started off in phlebotomy testing, but has also pivoted into COVID through this, period of time. So, the what and the why of what I'm talking to you about today. What I wanted to talk to you about was innovation through collaboration, and I wanted to share with you lessons I've learned over my career to date. This topic is close to my heart as, in my experience, it's usually the barriers we ourselves create that hold back the pace of innovation in digital healthcare. I'll be doing this by sharing with you sort of 3 lessons that I've learned in my time and, and how I think about accelerating digital change. So the first one is don't be afraid to partner. Define your goals, define your circle of competence, and collaborate for the rest. Second is default to open. The whole is often greater than the sum of its parts. And the third, it might be tried and tested, but it's build a strong, diverse team. Have the right people in the room and give them a voice. So the first one I wanted to talk to you about is don't be afraid to partner. Define your goals, define your circle of competence, and collaborate for the rest. So there's a famous quote by Munger and Buffett, which is know your circle of competence and stick with it. The size of that circle is not important, but knowing its boundaries is vital. What this quote means to me is, know what your business is, know what you're trying to do, and be laser focused. From there, partnerships are a terrific way to create added value and speed growth. When I first started Clinic Connect back in 2009, our focus was on creating unified access to primary care, something that was at the time really only walled off by traditional access points such as walk-ins and phone appointments. But that was our focus, access. However, what I quickly came to learn was when creating a marketplace, you can't be afraid to partner with existing companies, technologies, and providers. The best example I could use for that is practice management software that was existing in the GP companies. They were firmly entrenched and had been there for a long period of time. Each practice managed software, however, had 2 issues. Each provider did not have the market penetration to offer a truly online marketplace, as their market was only their current customers. And second, the online functionality was not their core competency, as these were software providers built to protect patient information and keep it secure in one area. Conversely, I had 2 core issues as well. I could not offer a truly beautiful integrated experience without partnerships with these existing service providers, allowing me to have real-time appointment visibility to my marketplace. And I did not want to build another competitive product in an already saturated market with an offering outside my personal circle of competence. So through partnering and integration, our team were able to stay laser focused on our product offering, online appointment booking access, while allowing practice management software partners to accentuate their offering to their clients by adding a feature that drove business to them. If we saw each other as competitors rather than partners, each company would have lost the race. This change in mindset allowed us to grow at greater speed than we ever could have by competing directly. This was also a win for existing practice management software suppliers, as it allowed them to add revenue stream while providing a platform-like experience for their customers, something that I'm going to touch on in a later slide. I've since mimicked this mindset at London Medical Laboratory. At London Medical Laboratory, we are a truly omni-channel access to COVID testing, phlebotomy testing, and health checks. This is accomplished through our website, owned stores, franchises, and B2B clients. However, without an open mindset, we could once again offer a truly beautiful experience to our clients. We have in 12 months grown from 3 sites to over 500 plus locations that offer London Medical Laboratory products and services. Our B2B partnerships with pharmacies have provided customers access across the United Kingdom to our testing products while providing those stores with a lucrative revenue stream. If we decided to have an insular model where we would just own the stores and franchises, there is no way we could have experienced this rapid growth. And because of this mindset, and because we continue to define our circle of competence and collaborate with the rest, we've also built a network of referral laboratories. These referral laboratories allow us to offer the extended range of our testing to our customers require, but we would not actually be able to deliver on our own if we decided to stay insular. Whilst technically direct competitors, our referral laboratory arrangements allow both companies to benefit from the expanded market London Medical Laboratory have created. My next slide is default to open. The whole is often greater than the sum of its parts. So the famous Gestalt theory, it maintains that the whole is something else, something different than the sum of its parts. And another famous quote is, as Aristotle would say, the whole is more than the sum of its parts. This is what I want to work through when discussing defaulting to open. In my experience, digital health providers default to closed. They're distracted by the sensitivity of the data types that are being used or transferred. And however, many innovative companies who have not been allowed to fully compete and complete their service offering are slow due to things such as stifling regulation, something that I've seen across geographies. The lack of collaboration in regards to healthcare and population health data is one of the most frustrating blockages I've experienced in my career, and that's, as I said, across geographies. The simplest manifestation of this issue that I can think of is in the pharmaceutical supply chain. An industry that's comprised of large companies with layer upon layer of bureaucracy, ill-equipped for change. In my time at Veritrack, where we were working on a world-first commercial application of blockchain technology, we provided a decentralized way to securely collaborate between parties along the pharmaceutical supply chain, allowing multiple parties to securely view, share, sign, and validate vital documentation as molecules moved along the supply chain. However, this technology could reach its potential once all companies from material sources, manufacturers, developers, and packagers bought in. Currently, because there is such a thing as a default to distrust, this supply chain is still burdened by unsecure, slow, and inefficient communication channels rather than being open and fixing that problem. Defaulting to open has proven an extremely successful model in other markets. The platform model of operation is one example of this. Our platform is a business model that creates value by facilitating exchanges between 2 or more independent groups, usually consumers and producers. Best examples of this are Google, Facebook, YouTube, eBay, Alibaba, and PayPal. In the healthcare, this can be seen by innovative companies here in the UK, such as Blackford Analysis in Scotland. Blackford provides a dedicated platform and service for the use of leading medical imaging applications and artificial intelligence. However, through their penetration to hospitals and imaging centres around the globe, Blackford have actually been able to create a platform model, allowing them to partner with other health companies to create greater value as a whole to both Blackford's clients and these third-party applications. In this case, the ability to bypass lengthy procurement processes became a key competitive advantage in Blackford's business and allowed them to create that platform model. It's a similar way that Slack has created a suite of integrations on their platform, allowing them to offer better, more useful combined product to their users. The combined product was greater than each could have delivered individually. And sort of the last point I wanted to touch on was building a strong, diverse team, not getting caught up in an echo chamber. As we all know, there's a ton of literature on the benefits of diversity. In 2015, McKinsey reported on 366 public companies and found that those in the top quartile of ethnic and racial diversity in management were 35% more likely to have financial returns above the industry mean. And those in the top quartile for gender diversity were 15% more likely to have returns above the industry mean. However, there are 2 points that I'd like to personally touch on. Firstly, how diversity of cultural background allowed LML, London Medical Laboratory, to turn crisis into opportunity. London Medical Laboratory was founded by a husband and wife team who grew up in Brazil and New Zealand respectively. Both entrepreneurs by habit, they saw a gap in the private laboratory space in the UK and decided to found London Medical Laboratory. However, as COVID struck, it was this entrepreneurial spirit and the ability to call on a global team that gave LML its ability to quickly pivot into COVID testing, while other laboratories were forced to shut down during the beginning of the pandemic. The team quickly established a 24/7 support and coverage with teams in both London and Brazil. They drew on their courier team to create a private courier network within London, which allowed them to handle the flood of work that came their way during COVID and grow in 18 months from 5 people to 240, with revenues of over 30 million in 2021 alone. Now, the second thing that I'd like to quickly touch on, in part of having a mixed team, especially in digital healthcare, is diversity, not just in gender and genealogy, but also in professional background. Healthcare decision makers are under extraordinary pressure to enhance clinical and operational processes and accelerate digital transformation. This is magnified as the consumer appetite for more personalised, improved and patient-centric health services has increased. But you need people in the room who see your users as not just patients, but also people. When working in digital health, we all obviously acknowledge the need for hires who have deep healthcare experience and passions. But you also do not want to overlook those experts in the field that may have never worked in healthcare. That fresh set of eyes, I've found, often helps when trying to accelerate any change, not just in healthcare. At Clinic Connect, it was mostly the doctors and GPs who were the hardest to get on board, as their incentive and their training was to default to closed. It was actually the practice managers and staff who immediately saw the use case and how this service would help, not just their patients, but themselves as users. So just because you're working in digital healthcare, my advice would be not to discount those with non-medical backgrounds. So, in summary, my 3 points. Don't be afraid to partner, define your goals, and define the circle of competence. Collaborate for the rest. Default to open. The whole is often greater than the sum of its parts. And build a strong, diverse team. Have the right people in the room and give them a voice. These lessons have served me well in my career, and I hope you've enjoyed them today. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to speak today, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the conference and listening to all of these accomplished speakers. Thank you very much.